Later this year, Australia's film and television industry will celebrate its 10th annual ACTA Awards. The iconic statuette that is handed out to each of the winners of the awards is well known to the public, but perhaps what isn't realised is that this statuette began its birth here in this Middle Swan property in Western Australia. Today I want to introduce you to Ron Gomboc. You probably won't hear his name at the awards, but he's the man who crafted the sculpture. Over about 40 years, Ron and his wife Terry have developed a sculpture park here in Middle Swan, and it's testament to their work and their contribution to the arts.
I was one of the 60 artists that were asked to submit on a brief on design for an ACTA award. And as a finished product, it's gold plated. As you can see, it had to be figurative but also contemporary, as in being Australian. And the base is actually West Australian tiger iron, and that's what makes this award so unique in a world of awards. Friday I just received a confirmation of doing another 100. And this sculpture, I call it a sculpture, not a trophy. This sculpture is actually gone all over the world. Being an artist, it's something that I always wanted to do full time, but I started work with my father from the age of 13. When we came to Australia, when we came to Swan Valley, I was the oldest of the 4 kids, so I didn't have much choice, But that was probably the best thing that could happen, because instead of wasting time, my father was a very, very hard taskmaster, and he was a very, very good tradesman. So that gave me an opportunity to learn all the trades, not just cabinet making or joinery. We learned how to do the bricklaying, plastering, you name it. We did everything. I got very much involved in sculpture at the Claremont School of Art, and that was 71. And then from there I went to Perth Tech, James Street Tech, learned about bronze casting, and then Midland Tech also had Guy Smith teaching drawing and painting and so on. So I had some really good teachers. And in 1980 we had tragedy in the family, and that made me realise that money is very, very important. I wanted to do something that's more than money, and being an artist I felt there was more than money until you run out of money. But that was not going to sort of put me off buying the land. We bought 1980, now 40 years ago, we bought the land, 11.5 acres, and built the studio, built this workshop, and then built a house. And it was then, by 1984, money dried up, money was gone. The gallery opened in 1982. But I thought, if we can get over that, we can get over anything. But I never thought that in the last, say, 10 years, the cultural side of our society and all that has so badly diminished that we lost so many brilliant galleries. We lost so many galleries that put their whole life into it as well. And now we are the oldest gallery still operating, the only sculpture park that's been free to public from the time we began. And it was my wife who's the one that's going to be really congratulated on supporting, not just supporting me, but keep the gallery open to the public. This is a model for my most recent commission for developer in Midland. And they wanted something that would symbolise the embracing the old and the new, especially for development that it's actually built on Old Midland Oval. It relates to that spiritual content of my work. But to me, the spiritual component of two, embracing one another, supporting one another, even now during our the virus and so on, that's something that people miss the most, and that is the closeness and embrace of a support of another person,
Ron and Terry Gomboc have kept their sculpture park here in Middle Swan open for 40 years, free of charge to the public. And in that time, they've contributed something to the cultural health of Australia. They've created something that I would call sculpture with soul.